You're lying in bed, lights off, phone inches from your face. You open your banking app, not because you need to, just to look. And there it is, your emergency fund, 3 months of expenses, 6 months if you're feeling spicy, a clean, beautiful number you've been grinding toward for years. You scroll back and forth like it might disappear if you blink too hard. For the first time in forever, you don't feel panicked. Rent, covered, car trouble, annoying but survivable, boss in a bad mood, suddenly negotiable. This is the moment, right? The I made it moment. And then something weird happens. Not immediately, but quietly, subtly. Your phone buzzes. Congrats, you're pre approved. Your savings could be working harder. Treat yourself, you earned it. You notice your bank app has a new tab. Opportunities. That's cute. Your credit limit goes up, your ads get nicer, your stress goes down, which somehow makes spending feel smarter. You tell yourself, I'm stable now. I deserve this. I can always rebuild it. And this is the catch. Hitting the emergency fund number feels like crossing a finish line, but the system treats it like you just stepped onto a new track. The rules quietly change, the temptations get smarter, and most people, good, responsible people, slowly give it back. Not because they're bad with money, but because banks love your emergency fund. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why and how to keep it. Here's the part nobody tells you. The emergency fund trap isn't about bad decisions, it's about timing. Saving up that money is like grinding uphill on a roller coaster. Slow, painful, every dollar feels expensive. Then you hit the top, and instead of stopping, the track tips forward. Suddenly, spending feels lighter. Risk feels manageable. Temporary withdrawals feel harmless. This is why over half of Americans who have an emergency fund still dip into it for non emergencies, not because they're reckless, because the moment stability arrives, pressure disappears. And pressure was the only thing holding the line. The system knows this. Banks, apps, lenders, they don't want you broke. They want you almost stable. Because when you're drowning, you don't borrow, you panic. But when you're floating, you browse. And here's the brutal stat that makes everyone feel better and worse at the same time. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without debt. But even among people who can, most don't keep that cushion long term. They rebuild it. They drain it, they rebuild it again. It's a loop. Not because you're broken, because this is almost everyone. We treat the emergency fund like a trophy instead of what it actually is, a foundation. You don't decorate a foundation, you don't treat yourself with concrete. You don't say, I'll just borrow some foundation and put it back later. But psychologically, that's exactly what we do. Quick pause. My name is Red, and I'm obsessed with how money actually works, not how it's sold. This channel isn't about hustle porn, shame, or pretending anyone has it all figured out. It's about explaining the money system in plain English with a little sarcasm because it deserves it. And just to be clear, this is education and entertainment, not financial advice. I'm not your advisor. I don't know your full situation. Talk to a qualified professional before making big decisions. Cool? Cool. Now let's talk about what actually changes once you hit that emergency fund number. Phase one is the grind. Every extra dollar goes to safety. You say no more than yes. You feel broke even when you're doing the right thing. Your brain is in scarcity mode, hyper focused, protective. Phase two is where people lose it because scarcity shuts off. Suddenly, your brain flips from survival to reward. I've been good. I earned this. I'm not that person anymore. And here's where the system leans in. Banks raise your limits after you show discipline. Apps start suggesting optimization, investments, cards, buy now, pay later, all framed as upgrades. And none of this is evil, but it's not neutral either. The system is tuned so most people never wander too far from needing. I, your emergency fund is proof you're responsible, which makes you a better customer, stable enough to borrow, calm enough to spend, confident enough to say yes. And emotionally, this is the hardest part. After years of saying no, yes feels like freedom, but freedom without rules is expensive. So people do this. They keep the emergency fund, technically, but it shrinks, then grows, then shrinks again, always just low enough to feel nervous, never high enough to feel